I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, October the 8th, Columbus Day. A lot of things are going to be closed, so remember that. Had a wet weekend. I'll tell you what, it was wet all through the central part of the United States. Just a cool fall weekend with a lot of moisture around. Even down here in the southern plains, Texas Panhandle region, had a lot of good rain. It was slow, good rain, didn't run off bad. The wheat really needed it. If we can get the sun to pop back out here in the next week or two, I mean, this wheat is going to explode. Your calf demand is going to grow. We had good rain up into the middle part of the country too, which is probably going to set your harvest back a little bit, but they made big strides last week. We'll find out here on Monday when they put the report out on how much advance they made on completing harvest, probably near or over 50% already. With today's equipment, it's just amazing how fast they can do that. But let's look at the board at the end of the week. Last week, October live cattle futures ended the week at 113.80. That was only up 35 cents for the week. December live cattle ended the week at 118.15, down 70 cents for the week. So those two are getting closer. Your first day to tender delivery notice is on Monday here. Not expecting a lot of that, but got nearly $3 there. You know, usually they'll wait till later on in the month, but there may be some guys that you're not thinking about out on the fringes that say, you know what? If we can't get this cash market any closer to what the board's quoting, I'll just bring you some cattle. And then you'll start seeing the longest long scrambling to try to get out from under those. But October feeder cattle, 157.77 to end the week, down 40 cents for the week. November was actually up 17 cents for the week at 158.22. Your fats, they dribbled around all week there in the northern plains, selling over 60,000 head before they ever sold a hoof in the southern plains and really established a market. But the sales are from 110 to 112 with your weighted average around 110.50 there. But on Friday, finally, you know, Kansas and Texas were just determined to hold out for $1.12. They just couldn't get it. You know, when they sell 60,000 head earlier in the week, then I mean, how are you going to have any leverage to hold the market out? But 111 for the most part, which was steady. There was a little bit of 111.50 in the northern plains on the western side, western Nebraska, Wyoming. Goes to show you they needed cattle up there. If those guys would just hold out a little bit and quit selling them on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and hang with the southern boys, they could probably gain some more ground. But mostly steady, maybe firm on the edge. But your dress sales would be $1 higher because 175 was the number late in the week. They had sold some earlier at 173, 4 and 5, but 175 the big number, and a few 175 and a half on Friday, like I said, up there where they needed cattle, but it just seems like that's all the guys wanted for them. They were busy with harvest and had a lot going, and they thought, you know, hey, this is as good as I'm going to get, and I won't have to worry about it anymore this week. But the box beef cutout values, your average for last week's trade on just over 600 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings. Your choice cuts, 204.30, 77 cents lower than the previous week's weighted average. Selects, 91 cents lower than the previous week's weighted average at 192.93. That's a choice select spread of $11.37. Your slaughter, pretty good. I mean, you know, anytime we get over 630,000, that's a good heavy slaughter. Had 643,000 for the week. That was actually 7,000 less than the previous week, but 7,000 more than the same week a year ago. Your Monday sales as we come in here on Monday, probably going to be around steady. Most all your sales had kind of caught up with the market. You had good gains a week ago. Then kind of a disappointing fat cattle trade, and receipts are a lot heavier, but I would say close to steady on your big high volume Monday sales. Your cash feeders for last week were $2 to $4 higher, so good gains there last week. Your calves, very uneven, and we talked a little bit about that last week, but big discounts on your unweaned calves. Now, that you're always going to see a discount on your unweaned calves compared to those that are long time weaned, but at this time of year when you start seeing more of them, the disparage grows even more. So not only is there a discount, the discount grew more last week by $2 to $5. So your long-time hard-weaned calves, they're going to sell really a lot closer to what your yearling cattle are going to bring. But those balling calves, which tend to be fleshier with mother's milk, they just haven't had a chance to really be out there on their own and take off for their new buyers. They got a good chance of getting sick on them. Those cattle are heavily discounted. And you know, guys, you guys that are bringing your calves in, I don't care if you just have a bumper pull trailer load of them, you need to make sure that somebody at the sale barn knows what those calves have had. If they've been weaned less than 30 days, I wouldn't say anything, because that's worse. A fresh sale on some calves pulled right off the cow, guys have time to get them settled in before they start having trouble with them. Those that have been weaned a couple of weeks, they're just ready to get sick. But 30 to 45 days, tell them exactly how long they've been weaned. If they've been weaned over 45 days, you tell them exactly how long. Say long time weaned, over 45 days. Give them the date that you weaned those calves. Tell them what they've had. Don't just say they've had the shots. Tell them the product that you used. Tell them how many times you give it to them. Tell them the day that you give it on them. Give it to them. And if you've got a commission agent that's not interested in hearing that or relaying it to the buyers, you find somebody that does, because that's what they do. That's their job. It means a lot to these buyers. I'll tell you what, they would rather just miss out on some cattle that are too cheap if they're not sure what they got, rather than lose their order, because a lot of these buyers or guys that are sending out the order says, I don't want any calves that haven't been weaned 45 days or don't have respiratory shots. So you just need to make sure, tell people what you're doing. Don't just drive up to the sale and back your trailer up and unload them and drive off. That's the worst thing you can do. We got some individual quotes late in the week on a Saturday in Fort Scott, Kansas. 60 head of 794 pound steers bring $158.50. You can watch that sale on DV auction every week. Lexington, Nebraska, now they get the big prices up there. 218 head of 677 pound steers bring $177, and a long string of big yearling steers, 242 of them weigh 900 pounds at $162.85, and that's your feeder flash for Monday.